Hello folks, and this is Justin of the Ottawa Expositor. This 14th of October, I'll get the date right sometime, whatever. Anyways, so today we're going to continue debunking those who say that they have found 100% proof for a crisis actor. And we're going to go back to the no emotion equals crisis actor debunked video that which I had done. And for the most part, no matter what of what the likes or dislikes were, as you can see, they were split down the middle. There was actually nobody that really withstood criticism of how they can prove it's a crisis actor. They just say that they know best, and it turns into a personal attack. You'll be able to see that as I debunk each counter argument that they bring forth. There was one person, though, that brought forth a great argument. A great argument. And thank you for everybody who did try to debunk it anyways, because for the first time in 3 years, we've been able to look past the people who claim themselves to be experts, that claim themselves to be authority, and by declaring something 100% crisis actor or 100% hoax, they do declare themselves an authority. They believe that they have the expertise and the authority to do so. So for the first time in 3 years, from what I see, and I'm sure that many other people have done it before me, we are actually having a logical discussion as to whether or not these people are crisis actors, or if we could ever really prove it. I will note that there has not been one of these experts that have been around for, however long time that they declare these 100% hoaxes and crisis actors. Me being one of them in the past. But yeah, there's nobody here. None of the RedSilverJs, none of the Freeradiorevolutions, none of the ProfessorDooms, the PressResetEarths, none of them have entered this ring, at least not on their own account. So there was one person, and she deserves credit. I'm sorry if I don't get your name right. I'm so sorry. It's Swedish, I believe. Christian Bjergard Christensen. She brought up a great point. Just one sec. She said she's read a lot about psychopathy, and that I'm possibly creating a phenomenon, meaning like I'm just, I'm not necessarily coming to the right conclusion or whatnot. Even those with narcissistic psychopathic personalities would exhibit normal grief if they are affected. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. People with narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, which is psychopathy or sociopathy, they would exhibit natural grief and natural emotion if they were affected. And the way that is when they have a loved one, like a family, a spouse, a son or daughter, whatever, and it could be inanimate objects, or it could be a dog or a cat or something like that. If they lose one of these people, yes, because they objectify them and make them a personal extension of themselves, they would exhibit true grief of something that they have lost. Not necessarily the loss of the other, but something that they have lost. So that perfectly describes, that would counter my argument stating, that crisis actors could have NPD, especially if they're in the case where we can prove that they lost a loved one. In the case of Chris Hurst, things like that, that would explain that. Now, I will state that was not the only argument in which I had. I just said that the personality disorders is but one argument that can completely debunk the 3 years of what the experts had to say in this movement. There are other reasons for that as well. There are other alternatives besides the narcissistic personality disorder, because let's not put our eggs in one basket. Let's not make the same mistake as these authoritative or authoritarian experts in our movement have been making for the past 3 years. So let's go into it. Here's a couple different ones. I'm going to start with Wikipedia, and you can read this along with me. Just look up blunted affect, B-U-L-N or B-L-U-N-T-E-D. It is a clinical term to define a lack of emotional reactivity, affect display, otherwise known, in an individual. Whoa! Well, we never thought about this after 3 years, did we? It manifests as a failure to express feelings, either verbally or non-verbally, especially when talking about issues that would normally be expected to engage the emotions. Now, 3 years. We've never been talking about this. Why not? Could it be that we have selective perception? That we have a bias in the way that we're thinking? I don't know. Let's take a look. Expressive gestures are rare, and there is little animation in facial expression or vocal inflection. Blunted affect can be symptomatic of schizophrenia, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, depersonalization disorder, or brain damage. It may also be a side effect of certain medications. Individuals with blunted or flat affects show different regional brain activity when compared with healthy individuals. So that is one explanation. It could be blunted affect for many different reasons, like we were saying here, the stress disorder. But let's get in further into the medications. I'm going to go to Medical Whistleblower Network that you can look up for yourself. There's another explanation. NIDS, neuroleptic induced deficit syndrome, can be caused by these medications, which change in emotional awareness, sense of aliveness, and in the speed and clarity of thought. The treatment effects felt by many who have taken these medications are described as feeling like a zombie. Neuroleptic effect is present when the following features are observed. 1. Psychomotor retardation, motor slowing, body not moving so well. 2. Emotional indifferences, not being emotionally responsive, not caring. Reduced initiative, not showing interest in initiating activity. And 4. Slowing of thought. So, let's say some of these crisis actors do have something like this, and they don't initiate activity, but they certainly can be told that, you know, the best thing to stop whatever they're going through right now is to take away what they believe would be the source of the problem. Could be something like guns, you know, put in some gun control. And if they have slowing of thought, they may not actually be able to think for themselves as to why that wouldn't solve the problem. Because there are many reasons why people kill other people, and usually it doesn't have to do with the weapon at which they use. That's just what they find to do it. So, that's 2 more reasons to why your experts in the truth movement have been wrong when they say that 100% busted for crisis actors. And as we will further go into in this series of debunking the truth movement, or however you want to call it, crisis actors, even if we could prove that these crisis actors exist, which I don't believe we can unless you have a written transaction record of payment for doing a specific job called crisis acting, and good luck trying to find someone that's stupid within the NWO to do something like that and make a written statement. If you don't have proof, why are you calling it a hoax? Even if you had proof, why are you calling it a hoax? Because as we've shown here in this one case, there could be many alternative options at which the experts are not even thinking about, even after 3 years. Now, why is that? Could that be because they want to be right? I don't know. However, crisis actor theory is being debunked one by one. And I think you all know that. And I think that's why you guys can't even enter the ring. The RedSilverJs, the ProfessorDooms, the PressResetEarths, the Freeradiorevolutions, all of them. They can't even enter the ring. Go take a look in those comments. There's nothing there. And the people that do comment, aside from that very, very well thought argument, it was very well by Kristen. Thank you very much. And we finished the argument very well. She says, yes, those individuals have that ability. The point is that truth isn't relative, such as if one possibility is as plausible as the contrarian, or someone with a different ability, then people are left totally illiterate with regards to receptiveness, which is in fact the purpose of mind control. Thank you. She actually wrote this while I was doing an earlier take on this video. If people are perplexed as to what is normal human emotion and what is fakery, then we're certainly screwed. And yes, your argument is screwed. Thank you very much, guys. This has been the Auto Expositor, and start looking for more alternatives than just the people who want to tell you that they're the experts, because they're not at all. Bye.